10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
How the world can spin so fast today. I can't get my head around its ways. There is so much blame, there's so much fake. Like, come on, what's up with all the hate? Future will be yours, they used to say when they wrote the end of history. By the voice they called like 88 wasn't supposed to be this way. I believe that there's a place where I can roam. Got a feeling that we might be getting close. If I open up my heart and let it show, I'm already halfway there tomorrow. All I got was broken promises, and they told black swans do not exist. Those old men still keep trying to dismiss, but reality's too real to diss. See, we're sailing on the same boat, yet we let these kids go overboard. Let's evacuate, kick down the doors. We won't sink, we still got hope. I believe that there's a place where we can roam. Got a feeling that we might be getting close. We just have to plant the seed and let it show. We already halfway there tomorrow. I believe that there's a place where we can roam. Got a feeling that we might be getting close. We just have to plant the seed and let it show. We already halfway there tomorrow.
Anni Pohto. We chose her to open the award ceremony because what she's singing about mostly is about healing, about empowerment, about resilience and so forth. She's releasing her first album next spring, and actually she made an international deal a couple of months ago, and so you're going to be hearing from her at the end of the session and also after the session. So exciting evening, stunning to be here. This is one of the highlights of our year. We've been going through thousands of education innovations from all continents. We have shortlisted a couple of hundred, and then we have given them to our academy who have been evaluating those, and what we have left is 100 innovations. And for example, in sports, there is a concept called All-Stars Games. And what we are having here is an all-star event. Meaning is that everyone sitting in the audience is a star. And I think that that's kind of like quite emotional. So why don't we start by giving a round of applause for the audience, for everyone sitting there. Woo! So what we are trying to do at HundrED is that we are trying to identify education innovations that have potential to help every child flourish in life no matter what happens. And it means that all the innovations, they have to be impactful and scalable. Impactful means is that they have some sort of track record, meaning is that they work in at least one country. And the scalability for us means that they have potential to work in other countries as well. And among the innovations we have, some of them have been scaling to 10 plus countries and so forth. So there's kind of like a big variety of innovations. In the beginning of the session, or in the more afternoon session, one of the key insights was that if you really want to make a kind of like change happen in education in a kind of like a meaningful change, is that one of the key factors is that you really want to make that, you kind of like need to have the will, meaning is that you have to be committed to make the change happen. And we believe that each and every one of these 100 innovations we have in the global collection has potential to make a meaningful change. And that's kind of like making it beautiful. It doesn't mean that each and every innovation will work in every country of the world, but each and every one of these innovations have potential to work outside of the country of the origin. Quite often, when we, like mentioned, we've been working with education innovations for almost 10 years, and I'd say that probably the most common question that is asked from us is always is that, yeah, but how do I know that this works in our country? And our answer is that we don't. No one knows. Because every country, every continent is different, every country is different, every city is different, every school is different, every classroom is different. It's about how do you adapt, it's about how do you implement, how do you motivate the teachers, how humble you are, and so on and so on. So it's a really complicated process. But then again, that's not the whole answer we give. We also give is that how do you know that the existing system works? And the problem is that actually it doesn't. So kind of like what do you have to lose? And also we are asking is that if it doesn't work, how do you know that people are not learning from this? Because quite often you are actually learning something valuable from things that don't work perfectly. So I think that for me, the essence of making change happen is that you have to stay curious, you have to stay open, you have to try things, and you have to adapt. And that's kind of like the basic idea of HundrED. So no matter what kind of change you want to make in education, if you want to be improving social emotional learning, assessment, reading, mathematics, and so on, the main message we want to be giving is that there's a huge amount of people who are doing beautiful things, and many of those could be valuable in your own classroom, in your own country. And now we are talking about people like you. And the theme of this year's event is, I have it in here in my badge, the beautiful risk of innovation. And actually, interestingly, we haven't defined what it means, or there's kind of like different kind of definitions. And for me, what the beautiful risk of innovation means is that actually there is no risk. Because you try things, and no matter what happens, it's valuable because you are learning something which can make the change happen. So for me, I think that the biggest risk in education is that you are not changing anything, you are not taking risks. And for me, that's the beauty of innovation. And that's the essence of tonight and the whole of the summit in here. So, in short, the essence of HundrED, our mission is to help every child flourish in life, no matter what happens. And how do you make that happen? By identifying impactful and scalable education innovations. And that's all about you. That's the work you are doing. And we feel really humbled to be working for you, promoting your innovation, talking about them in various events and so on and so on. So with these words, I'll kick off the award ceremony. And the host of the ceremony, our community is not consisting only of innovators. It's also consisting of ambassadors, and it's consisting of country leads. And we are having 26 country leads, people who are working without any fee. They are working for us, for you, because they love education, they love innovations and so on. And one of them is Magaga, who's been really active member of the community, doing really great things in Africa within the HundrED community, coming from Kenya. And Magaga will be the host of tonight. Magaga.
Wow. Thank you so much, Saku. It's been wonderful interacting with you and the all of HundrED community. Well, about 2.5 years ago, I came to a very important transition in my work as a teacher and as an educator in realizing the new context of innovation. Well, instead of being that educator who identifies the problem in education and spends so much time talking about it, I realized after watching a video that is dated back 4 years ago, and that was Saku saying that it needs 3 things: identify the problem, and don't spend so much time talking about the problem, build a strategy, and implement. Thank you so much. It's wonderful to see you in person, Saku, today. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Magaga Enos. I'm from Kenya, and at Kenya, I work with an organization called Beads for Education, where we support the education of girls from vulnerable Maasai communities, helping girls, giving them quality access to education. These are girls who would otherwise be sentenced to a life of poverty since due to first early marriages, forced early marriages, and female genital mutilation. After interacting with HundrED, my work was enlarged beyond Beads for Education. I fell in love with innovations, and right now I run an advocacy program that allows me to visit neighboring schools in my community and adapt the innovations that I find so meaningful at HundrED community. Thank you so much. This is great being there and seeing all the audience. I'm aware we have people streaming in live. I'm saying thank you for sparing time to be with us today. It's wonderful, always wonderful to have you share with us. Now, this session is just about to hear from different community members as well as the HundrED research team who will officially launch the report. And I'm really eager to kick this off. So I'm going to ask you to do one simple thing for me. Can you just turn to your neighbor and ask this simple question? Are you ready? Thank you so much. I feel ready. I hope you feel ready too. So to start us off, I'm going to warmly welcome Lasse, who is the CEO and founder of HundrED. Lasse will introduce the Hall of Fame. The HundrED Hall of Fame is a new category within the global collections that give special recognition to education innovations that have demonstrated sustained growth of impact and scalability. So please, ladies and gentlemen, join me welcome Lasse. Thank you.
Hello all, my name is Lasse Leponiemi. I'm the co-founder and executive director at HundrED, and it's my great pleasure to be here with all of you today. This is the first time, like Saku was mentioning earlier today, in 3 years when we are able to gather in person. And this is also now the next global collection we are launching today, and during this week celebrating all the innovators we have been selecting. This is also something that is very remarkable and important for us. Not only because we have been missing to see you all, but also because we all feel that we need more opportunities to gather together. And when we have been doing our education innovation research during the last years, we have been seeing that some of the innovations are popping up again and again and again and again and again. So we decided to create a Hall of Fame category a few years back. And these Hall of Fame innovations are something that have been showing us remarkable impact and scale a year after year. They have been tirelessly innovating and growing further the way how they operate. And we all know that during this year we have been hearing a lot about transforming education systems. And as we are learning from our global collection of this year, we see that educators and teachers are often the active player doing the transformation. So I'm very happy to show you all the Hall of Fame innovators that you were seeing on the screen behind me. And from the Global Collection report, you can then also find more information about them. So especially all the Hall of Fame innovators, thank you for doing the great work. And then for all the rest of the innovators, when you have been selected multiple times to our different collections, then one year this might happen to you as well. So thank you so much, and Enos, back to you.
Thank you so much, Lasse. That was great. You did justice to that wonderful session. Now, very quickly, from the interest of time, we're going to move on, and I would like to introduce Luciana, the General Coordinator at Tentemate. Forgive me if I didn't say that right. An innovation that was selected at the HundrED Global Selection. Now, Luciana is going to get us moving around a bit and highlight a practice they teach the teachers as they work with. Over to you, Luciana. Round of applause, please.
Thank you, Magaga. Hello, everybody. How are we feeling today? Good? Amazing. Thank you for having me. Today, I want to invite you to join me in a brief moment of play. It'll be just 5 minutes. And whoever would rather sit this one out, that's perfectly okay, too. So please, everybody here in the audience, in the live stream, join me in standing up, getting up from your seats. Just be mindful of the seat in the back of you and the table in front of you. And we're going to start by raising our arms up to the sky and try to reach as high as you can. Get on the tip of your toes, reach even higher. And now your hands down. Let's loosen our body a little. Loosen your legs, your shoulders, your arms, your waist, your wrists. And now we're going to do a little jog or stomp if it's too tight. First, we're going to start slow. And then we're going to pace it up, pace it up, pace it up. Faster, 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 faster. As fast as you can. Now a big jump. Big landing. And then breathe in. Hands up. Breathe out. Hands down. Once again. Breathe in. Breathe out. One last time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Amazing. Now we're going to play a game. Here are the instructions. I'm going to say and do something, and you need to do the opposite. Got it? Here goes. So whenever I say giraffe neck, you're going to do giraffe feet. And whenever I say giraffe feet, be careful with the table, you're going to go giraffe neck. Does that make sense? Easy? Maybe we'll do one more. So when I say elephant ears, big flappy elephant ears, you're going to do elephant trunk. Wiggle the trunk. And when I say elephant trunk, you're doing elephant ears. Okay? Do you think you're ready? Let's do it. Giraffe neck. Giraffe feet. Giraffe feet. Remember the opposite. Elephant trunk. Giraffe neck. Elephant ears. Giraffe feet. Amazing, easy enough, right? So I think we're ready to level it up. So whenever I say crocodile jaws, you're gonna do crocodile tail. And when I do crocodile tail, you're gonna do crocodile jaws. Ready? Let's do it. Crocodile tail, crocodile jaws, giraffe feet, giraffe neck, elephant ears, crocodile tail. Faster, giraffe feet, giraffe neck, elephant ears, crocodile tail, elephant ears, crocodile tail, giraffe feet, giraffe neck. Don't give up. Elephant ears, giraffe feet, crocodile tail. Amazing. Now a big breath in, breath out, breathe in, breathe out. Last one, breathe in, breathe out. And now, just standing there gently, you can spread your legs a little, put your hands on your tummies. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. And just for a second here, try to notice how your body is feeling. As you breathe normally, feel how your forehead feels, your cheeks, your neck, shoulders, arms, hands, your tummy, your legs, and your feet. Now you can open your eyes, you can put your hands down, and give yourself a big round of silent applause. This is how we do it on our Zoom meetings at Atentamente. Thank you very much. This exercise, well, you can sit down. This exercise is one that we model with preschool teachers in our Educating for Wellbeing professional development programs. It's a great strategy for two things. On the one side, it gets kids transitioning from movement to calming and grounding so that they are not all worked up but ready to transition to the next activity. It's a good classroom strategy. And then on the other, it's a fun way to develop core skills. As you've experienced yourself, it's a way to train attention, inhibitory control, memory, anticipation, and of course, gross motor skills and coordination. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for the invitation, and I hope you enjoy this celebration.
Thank you so much, Luciana. Well, that reminds me of something. Part of my role at Beats for Education is I lead this team mentorship, encouraging learners to love science. And I think we need some happiness in the classroom. And this is one of the things that brings some life in the classroom and activity, and it's amazing. And it also helps for learners to find education more lucrative. So I really got great from that, and thank you so much for the time you shared with us. As teachers, I felt highly motivated. Now, very quickly, we are going now to hear from the HundrED research team, who will share insights from the Global Collection Report and officially release the Global Collection for 2023. And in that, I'm going to introduce Crystal Green, Head of Research, and Clara Gracia Milan, Education Research Specialist. Please, over to you, HundrED research team. Thank you so much. Round of applause.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Crystal Green, and I'm the head of research.
And my name is Clara Garcia Millán.
Sound.
Good. My name is Clara Garcia Millán, and I'm the education research specialist at HundrED.
Yes, and we lead the research team, and we are so excited to have the opportunity this evening to finally, officially reveal the Global Collection 2023. We are here tonight to honor the work that you, HundrED innovators, are doing to change and transform education for millions of children around the world.
This collection was selected from over 3,000 innovations, from which we shortlisted around 170 innovations from all around the world that represent some of the most innovative practices in education today.
Our HundrED Academy, with over 150 members, some of whom are with us tonight, provided over 3,000 detailed reviews of these innovations based on their impact and scalability.
Thanks to these reviews, we were able to understand how different innovations would work in different contexts. And for this reason, we want to give a special word of thanks to all the Academy members who spend the time and effort to review innovation. We have some of them here tonight, so once again, thank you.
And what a collection it is. The work of making change in education is hard, and as we see in this collection, there is a lot of work to do in changing the practices of teachers, in introducing the arts, improving access to education, fostering equity, and more. All of you selected innovators are addressing the skills, practices, and environments that help children thrive in life no matter what happens.
And we are so inspired by the work that you all do. And I also personally feel very honored to be in your presence here tonight in the same room, and also with the innovators that are joining us virtually from all over the world. So thank you for spending this time with us.
This year's collection is our most diverse in terms of the geographical spread of the country of origin of the innovations.
Yes, so here we have the map, and together all these innovations that you can see represented here reach around 95 million children. And I would like to recognize here also the important work of our global HundrED community, including teachers, school leaders, innovators, even students who are helping us identify all these innovations. It wouldn't be possible without them. Through the experiences of our community and also the innovations that they have around them, it's how we at HundrED, we are able to identify these innovations, understand what is going on in every country, in every context, in their local contexts. And from here, I also want to thank you, our amazing head of community, Khadija Ladin, for doing such an incredible job of bringing together the community. Yes.
Now let's dig a bit deeper into the trends we've identified in this year's collection. Clara, what is one thing you would want to highlight about this year's collection?
Yes, so this year in the UN Transforming Education Summit, we saw that one of the main pillars to changing education is teachers, and this is also something we've been seeing today. And also in our global collection, since our innovators, one of the main focuses is to improve teacher professional development so that teachers can transform classrooms. But I would also like to highlight something else, and it's the importance of the student voice and the role that student plays in improving education systems. Among our innovators, we see that there's an emphasis on engaging students in taking decisions in their own learning, but also in the school structures, being learners, the main drivers of change. And I also want to add that if we focus on the learning gaps of students and correcting their mistakes, we are putting students in a vulnerable spot. But instead, if we acknowledge that all the students learn in different rhythms, in diverse ways, with different supports, and we embrace every single way of learning, then we are empowering students for life. And when we think about innovation in education, the innovations that we've seen in our community that have been able to reach a greater scale and even change the culture of their communities are the ones who have been able to expand the degree of freedom, autonomy, of self-efficacy of the people who are involved in those innovations. So for me personally, the main takeaway for this year is student agency, the importance of student agency as one step forward in our way to achieve education equity. So that's from me, but I also want to hear from you, Crystal. What was your main takeaway this year?
Well, the core criteria that we use to evaluate innovations are impact and scale. But when we've been doing interviews with the innovators and having conversations about scale, the conversation often turns very quickly to changing education at an ecosystem level. We have big questions about how to change systemic structures, about the ways change can happen in education, who are the agents of change at the level of the classroom, the level of the school, and the system level. We've talked about who can make change in education and who is making change, both inside and from the outside. The demand for innovation in education is produced both by gaps in educational provision as much as by policy provisions. For example, when the arts or compensatory education are not included in education curricula, you innovators are stepping in to support education systems. At the same time, when policy supports are given in the form of policy commitments and funding, for example, for social and emotional learning, we see that again, you innovators are ready to support teachers in finding ways to use these opportunities to innovate teaching. There's always a push and pull for change to happen in education, and there's always some measure of risk involved in innovation. Sometimes we don't know or can't know with certainty what the social outcomes of a particular innovation will be. The social outcomes of education are seen along the timeline of lifetimes. We know that experiences in early childhood are linked to outcomes in adulthood. But taking inspiration from educational scholar John Dewey, we understand that learning is an experience. Innovation in education is also about improving the experience of education and schooling, both for teachers and for students. But to do that, we have to start and end with people. Education and change is not a technical process, it's a human process, and learning itself is a social process.
Thank you, Crystal. That's really beautiful, and I want to highlight here that you, the innovators, are the one who are changing those experiences for learning. So yeah, this is all from the research team. I think that now it's the time to give a big round of applause again for our innovations that have been highlighted in our global collection this year. As you already know, you can go to our website, download the report, and please share it with your networks. And of course, remember to tag us at #HundrED Summit. So with that, I think we are ready to transition to our amazing Anni Pohto, who will perform some more music for us while we project the names of the innovators that have been selected this year. Enjoy.
Congratulations on your achievement, everybody.
Round of applause for, wow. It really humbles me to celebrate innovators because as far as I'm concerned, I think innovators are the bright light source to the world. You think of an idea and you decide to share it with the whole world. It really humbles me. And it reminds me, the very beginning in my relationship with HundrED, I was having some conflict of interest in my practice as a teacher. So many things are not working in place. And I was thinking, what can I do? How do I even become an innovator? And someone once told me this, that to be an innovator, it's actually very simple. You need to have the will and the skills to improve and share your idea. So I'm really much humbled, and huge congratulations to those global selections that really are there this year. Now, very quickly, I want to get into even a more juicy part, that is the award ceremony. And ladies and gentlemen, it keeps getting better. Now, I'm going to invite Lenny Jesby, who's going to show us and introduce and also award various innovations, Rapid Response, Academy Choice, and Innovator of the Year. Thank you so much. Over to you, Jenny. Nice to meet you in person. Thank you.
So good to see you.
Right.
Good afternoon, Helsinki, and educators, innovators, both here and globally, who's following what we are doing here tonight. My name is Lene Jensby Lange. I'm here to present the Rapid Response Award. It's an award presented to an innovation that has been able to quickly provide support for students and teachers in crisis-affected areas. When COVID shut down our lives 2.5 years ago, the daily lives of billions of children changed overnight. Schools were shut down, online learning kicked in, but that was only part of the story. A shocking number of 1 in 5 of our children on this planet is not in school at all. And how do we even begin to help these children who grow up in poverty, with no internet access, in communities where there's little or no education at all? I'm truly happy to present the Rapid Response Award to a fabulous woman who dealt with this problem. Janvi Maheshwari Kanoria, for your work as Director of Innovation Development at Education Above All. And there's more. And Janvi, there's more. Janvi, through turning children's local worlds into their education and through looking at both children and their communities as not deprived but resourceful, you've ignited learning for more than 1 million children. You brought it to life by themselves and their communities with the support of an internet-free education resource bank that can turn any place into a school. You've proven there's always a solution, no matter how difficult the problem. And I was listening to a talk you gave earlier this year. You said that this required 5 major shifts in the thinking we have about education. So from teacher-led to community-based, from classrooms to streets, from globally standardized to locally relevant, and from passive listening to speaking up and creating, and not least from facts to discovery, which is something we do together. And I feel tempted to add another one, from limited access to abundance for all. And I think while you were trying to solve a very complex problem here and have been very successful at it, I think you're also inspiring a way we can reimagine education anywhere. So thank you very much and congratulations.
So good evening, everyone. And on behalf of Education Above All and the Innovation Development Directorate, thank you for this recognition. the Ukrainian and the Afghan packages are a part of our internet-free education resource bank. And as you were hearing, the focus of that is on technology-free, low-resource learning, which is really relevant to the context of the child who we're working with, and also at the same time, very immersive and engaging, project-based. So in a world of digital education, it's really lovely to just pause and celebrate hands-on learning. I really want to call out my amazing team, and especially Aishwarya Shetty for the work that she did on this Ukrainian package. When we started this work, we just wanted to really understand what were the needs on the ground. And so we spoke to everyone we could. We spoke to emergency clusters, we spoke to INGOs, we spoke to children, separated families, we spoke to mothers, we spoke to teachers. And I want to say that we're really in awe of the Ukrainian diaspora community. We had people like Serge and his friends at the University of Toronto who helped us translate this content while their own homes were being attacked. So really amazing work from them. And when we recognize the need to have refugee and host communities develop relationships, because learning without it, it's not even possible. So most of our resources really focused on having these communities do things together. So for example, they would tell each other folk stories, and then they learn literacy by writing their own story. They tell each other things about their own countries, and then they develop their own country together, which was a figment of their imagination, but perhaps a dream of a better future. So when we created these bespoke materials, we also built on resources that already existed. So we looked at the brilliant Pratham book Story Weaver collection and used the help of some specialized partners, including one who's right here, the Amal Alliance, to put together this amazing bedtime story collection. It's a series of whimsical and fun stories that touches the themes on displacement, hurt, loss, but really helps start a conversation. While we're designing this to have maximum impact, we're also working with organizations like Think Equal to convert these into TV shows, and working with champion organizations on the ground, like the Positive Education Institute, who literally changes plans every single day because of the ground context of things moving in a crisis. So really, to those champion organizations, I hope we're able to support you one fraction of what you're doing for the children in need. Our purpose is really fueled by the children in the center of the storm. So this one is really for them. And in keeping in theme of this Ukrainian emergency education package, I really hope we all learn to live and learn together. Thank you.
Good evening, distinguished guests and members of the Academy. It's an honor to be here tonight to present this award with Natalie. I'm just looking at the picture right now, and I'm not here as an educator, I don't think, or a researcher, or a politician. I'd like to say I'm probably here as a Christmas jumper expert. So I'll be in the foyer afterwards to give you the history of Christmas jumpers in contemporary society, if you'd like a talk on that. But if I was an educator, I'd tell you that purpose lies at the heart of what we do. And depending on one's context, the specifics of that purpose vary. But it's important we don't lose sight of the big why. We should be helping children to navigate the challenges of today, while equipping them with the competencies and dispositions to meet an unknown future head-on and flourish. As I read the room, I sense, I hope, that there is a universal agreement on this. And while I can read this room, and most importantly these cue cards, there are still many children across the world who can't. The winner of this award has and continues to have a profound impact in positively changing the circumstances of so many young people through their reading initiatives.
Hello everyone, thank you Mark. My name is Natalia and I'm a math teacher, and I was part of this event and part of Academy Choice event. So it was not an easy task because every short-written innovation is reviewed by an expert academy, consists of academics, educators, innovators, students, and leaders. This year, HundrED had 194 Academy members participate in this review process, and total of 3,000 reviews, 3,488 reviews were made. So the award for the Academy choice is given to the innovation that received the most positive reviews in the terms of impact and scalability. The recipient of this award is Laurie McMahon, Chief Development and Communication Officer on behalf of Room to Read. Congratulations, Laurie.
Thank you so much. I'm humbled and grateful to be here on behalf of everybody at Room to Read. Thank you to the Academy, and thank you for this really prestigious honour. It's great to also be in a room full of like-minded individuals and organisations who fundamentally believe that education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. At Room to Read, we believe that everything begins with education. There are a lot of crises in the world right now. Goodness knows we've had a pretty tough couple of years, from war to famine to refugee crises, pandemics. And education is the solution. We have the solution to this problem. When schools shut down 2.5 years ago across the entire world, we met children and families where they were. We innovated and innovated to do whatever we had to do to keep children learning, keeping them engaged in the schooling system. We delivered books by camel, by boat, by moped, on foot. I'm not exaggerating. There's some wonderful stories to be told of how our teams on the ground innovated to do what needed to be done. We opened thousands of home libraries, and one such example I'll share is a very brief story of a little 9-year-old boy called Pratik in rural Nepal. And Pratik lives in a relatively ramshackle home in rural Nepal, and if you can just imagine, on the porch of his home, a long wooden table, and that table is covered in colourful Room to Read children's books. In Nepali, the right level for him, accessible to him, in his own language. And we delivered those books to him because he had no internet, he had no phone. And for 2.5 years, he needed to keep learning. He wanted to keep learning. And so he had these books that transported him to new worlds, that sparked his imagination, that he could read to his parents, his siblings, his pets, and keep the joy of learning going. We know that when a child learns to read, they can read to learn for the rest of their life. And that's the master key. That unlocks knowledge and a world of possibilities and gives them the agency they need to change their own lives, the lives of the communities and families around them, and ultimately create positive impact in the world in many years to come. So thank you. It's an incredible honour. We are so grateful. And it's wonderful to celebrate with you all here this evening. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh.
And one more prize, award recognition. When we started to create these global collections, and actually throughout the years, huge amount of people have said is that, but it would be so much more exciting if you would be putting them in order, like the world's best restaurants and so on. So what is the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? And we have been refusing, kind of like saying that that's not what we are all about. So because all of you are doing different kind of things, but putting you in order and so on makes absolutely no sense and so on. So this has been our decision. But we have decided to give some sort of awards, and one of them, and this is going to be the last award of the evening, but this is Innovator of the Year. And this is going to a person who's been doing beautiful things, showing impact, showing scalability, but also operating as part of the community, helping other innovations, being active, and so on and so on. And this year's prize will go to an innovation. We were discussing about the complexities of the future, and our mission is to help every child flourish in life no matter what happens. And we know that the future is going to be extremely uncertain. And for example, in this afternoon's panel, there was a lot of discussion is that no matter how great the education is, it will be complicated if there are no jobs. And so you need to kind of like have creative confidence. You need to have resilience. You need to have different kind of critical thinking skills. And this is an innovation that is doing exactly that, but it's doing it in a really creative way. They are using storytelling, they are using poetry, they are using visual arts and so forth in order to enhance the creative confidence of people who are coming from difficult, challenging backgrounds. And they are doing it at the moment in 19 countries to millions of kids. And actually, I was discussing with the person who is getting the prize like 1 hour ago, and I said, is that what was the last country you were expanding to? And she said, is that actually it was US. And she said, is that was thanks to you, because we created the connection and so on, and she was thanking. And that was kind of like a meaningful moment again for me, because it's not about us, it's about them, but being able to help a little bit people who are doing beautiful things and so on is really meaningful. But with these words, the Innovator of the Year, the innovation of the year is it's not the innovation of the year because it's the innovator, but her or the team's innovation, the name is Slam Out Loud, and the innovator of the year is Jigisa Labru.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Jigyasa. Before I start thanking HundrED for the award and telling you all a little bit about Slam Out Loud, I hope we're taking a moment to pause because we're in this room with people who believe education is important, who believe holistic education is important, and in a beautiful space. And I want to give a shout out to HundrED for literally moving mountains to get us all together to be in this room. So thank you to HundrED. I can tell you a little bit about myself and Slam Out Loud. My name is Jigyasa, which means curiosity. My mother was a science teacher when she read this word in Hindi in a textbook and thought, what might it be to bring up a child who keeps on hearing the word curiosity again and again? That safe space for me to nurture my curiosity, which was created by my mother and then some of my teachers, enabled me to create, enabled me to think of original ideas as a child, put stuff out into the world. And when I was growing up, having access to artistic opportunities like dance, like music, like painting, enabled me to find my own voice. And then many years down the line, I saw myself as a teacher in a low-income school in India, where I thought I was face-to-face with questions of power and privilege. I had a child in my class. Her name was Pooja. And often when we think of children like Pooja, who come from the communities like Pooja comes from, we think of certain kind of outcomes for them. But Pooja really didn't live up to the ideas of those outcomes. Pooja is a wonderful spoken word poet who has performed at multiple national platforms. She speaks her truth to power using her poems, takes workshops for other children and adults on spoken word poetry, and was a couple of years back able to convince her parents that she needed to change her school. And I know that because of an art form, which was spoken word poetry, Supriya is on a transformational life path. But what is true for Supriya is not true for most children who go to public schools in India. 7 years ago, India was ranked 99th on the Global Creativity Index. We come from a nation where our art and culture have been so rich and at the forefront of so many movements. but our children get less than 20 hours of artistic education per year in government schools. And this is where most of our children grow. Often when we think about children who come from low-income communities, our dreams for them about doing well academically or at best getting a job. But at Slam Out Loud, we believe that something as fundamental as being able to find our voice, getting open doors and windows, to finding who we are as people, what the world means to us, should not be limited to a privileged class. And hence, we bring in art forms like theatre, spoken word poetry, visual art, and storytelling to children who go to these schools by either placing teaching artists in schools or by training the teachers who might use our resources, and during COVID, creating products and assets like lesson plans, guidelines, videos that other teachers used, especially over low-tech platforms like WhatsApp, to bring artistic learning, mindfulness, social emotional learning to children. And that's what allowed us to scale. And that's what allowed us to expand when we decided that our idea was more important than an organization. Our idea that children should get safe spaces for creative expression was accessible to everybody once we made our content open source and allowed organizations, more than 200 organizations across 19 countries, took our curriculum and started using that with their children. And that allowed us to expand without increasing the size of the organization. I also really want to take this moment to thank our incredible team that does not think of innovation as something we do only in response to a crisis, but innovation as a way of life. We think deeply about what our children need. We ask them what they need, have children on our curriculum advisory board, have children in our hiring process, and have children represent us on most of the platforms. More importantly, we believe that our children, no matter where they come from, can and will be incredible artists, world leaders, and spectacular people who can change the world. Art and expression is their right in exploring how they wish to be. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Wow, that has been. I think this is the time that this is the time that I want to introduce myself as a maths teacher, and I want to apply maths in celebrating the award winners right now. So I'm gonna join. I'm really much happy to have Mark and who else? Maths teachers, and I'm so happy to know that we have maths educators here. So I'm gonna show you how we do this. So we're gonna do what we call 5 factorials. Clap. Awesome. 5 factorials. So instructions, they should be simple and clear. I'm gonna try my best to give you those right. So 5 factorials, we're gonna start with 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3. 1, 2, 3. Then 2. 1, 2. Then 1. Do I repeat that? Yes. So 5 factorials, we're gonna start with 5. So on a count of 3, I ask you to join me. Please relax your fingers. Straighten your phalanges, these ones. Get ready. So I'm gonna count 3. So I'm gonna start 3, then 1, then we start. 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. You can make very good students, right? All right, just 2 more things to say. It really humbles me to share a stage with great innovators. I've had the privilege to work with some of the innovations that I've gotten award right here. And I have great respect for others that perhaps I've not worked with, but I really enjoy what they do. Now, just to mention, I've had the privilege to work with Slam Out Loud in collaboration with Sweet Tree Arts to bring arts integration in learning back in my home country, Kenya, and it's been wonderful. Again, Laurie, reading is a culture that I'm so passionate about. I'll give you a very short story, a second story. Well, In Kenya, our students in high school read only 2 books in 4 years. 2 books. Can you imagine that? 2 books. They call it set books in a period of 4 years. So you realize there's a gap. And reading is very much important because learners travel through the whole world, through books. They travel. They develop empathy for different cultures, and that is amazing. So again, when I'm here, I think there's no better place to be but to be with you. Thank you so much. And for now, I'm going to invite Anni for another session of wonderful music as we celebrate 100 global innovations. Please let me invite her. Round of applause.
Thank you, and congratulations for all. In the days when we were young and wild and free, we used to actually all see what was wrong. But as the years went by, I opened up my eyes, started to move with time. You kept playing the same old songs. These hands can do so many things. I open my arms, I clench my fist. Got kisses to greet, or bruises to pay. The world you get is the world you give away. Walls, bridges are made from the same bricks and stones. Walls, bridges are made from the same bricks and stones. Walls, bridges are made from the same bricks and stones. Which ones will you be building? Which ones will you be building? Walls, bridges are made from the same bricks and stones. Which ones will you be building? Which ones will you be building? Which ones will you be building? I know you gone through things and that it ain't easy, but hey, you got the key. Only you can set you free. Don't lock yourself from life. Open your heart, your mind. Never too late to fly higher ground. So come with me. These hands can do so many things. I open my arms, so clench my fist. The kisses to greet, or bruises to pay. The world you get is the world you give away. Walls, bridges are made from the same bricks and stones. Walls, bridges are made from the same bricks and stones. Walls, bridges are made from the same bricks and stones. Which ones will you be building? Which ones will you be building? Hey, 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 hey. Walls, bridges are made from the same bricks and stones. Which ones will you be building? Which ones will you be building? Which ones will you be building? Walls, bridges are made from the same bricks and stones. Which ones will you be building? Which ones will you be building? Which ones will you be building in? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anni. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone that is watching a live stream. This completes the end of our session, and it's really been wonderful being your host. And I want to say, please